So in this example, of course, we see a secondary dominant chord, a 5, 6 of 5 leading to 5, and I just want to play that for you briefly here. And my purpose for starting with this example is actually to illustrate how we can use a secondary leading tone or a secondary diminished chord to accomplish very much the same function. Remember, diminished 7 chords and 5 chords are both part of kind of that dominant family, even though we associate the word dominant mostly with 5 chords. But I want to show you how we can use a diminished 7 chord in a very similar manner. We'll start by taking the 5, 6, 5 chord and replacing it with a half diminished 7, 7 chord. And that's how we change the label, of course. But to change the chord itself, we only need to change actually just one note. If we have the alto stick around on the E for just one more chord, that's really all we'll need to do to achieve a 7 half diminished 7 of 5. Let's listen to that now. Compare that to the 5, 6, 5 use. And the 7, 6, 5 once more. So again, that one note difference, right? Trading in this case the D for the E. The D, as you recall, of course, was the root of our 5, 6, 5 of 5. And when we take that root out of the equation, well, now we have a 7 chord where the root pitch, of course, is the leading tone. So they work so similarly. If you remember back to our discussion of primary 7 chords and primary dominant chords, they work similarly largely because they both contain not just the leading tone, but also the tonic pitch, which in a 5, 6, 5 serves as the chordal 7th, and in a 7, 7 serves as the chordal 5th. But these two together create that tritone that resolves in contrary motion into our 5 chord in this case. It's also worth noting that I don't necessarily have to choose a half diminished 7 chord. I can in fact make this a fully diminished 7 chord by actually, instead of staying on the E natural, turning that into an E flat. This, of course, brings in another non-diatonic tone into the key of C while we're temporarily working within the key of 5 here. So you might ask, why am I using an E flat? How can I get away with that when an E flat doesn't exist in the area of 5? Of course, in the key of C major, the area of 5 is G major. There is no E flat. Well, the reason I can get away with this is because of that kind of downward trajectory of the E flat to the D. Okay, you'll also notice that because it's a fully diminished 7th chord, not only do I have the tritone here between the leading tone and the chordal third here, I also have another tritone here. And as we recall from our discussion of fully diminished 7 chords, that presence of dual tritones really increases the volatility, and as you'll hear, really drives us again even more forcefully from this harmony here into 5. Let's contrast that now with each of these options here. Here's the 5, 6, 5 version. Here's the half diminished 7th version. And now our third iteration here, the 7 fully diminished 7 version. And in fact, when used as a 7th chord, the 7 fully diminished 7, or an inversion thereof, is really, really common as a secondary leading tone chord, whether it's going to a major chord, as it is in this case, or to a minor diatonic chord. So we go ahead and allow ourselves the use of that fully diminished 7, even when that pitch doesn't necessarily belong to the area of the target chord.